Curious about how to create a character in Elder Scrolls Online? Well, stick with me because I'm about to show you. This is Mystic with Mystic Shepherd Gaming, and I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online on and off since it was on PC, started in PC, and then I've moved over to PlayStation 4. So, this is how you create a character on PlayStation 4 in Elder Scrolls Online. Your first spot that you see is you create the gender, decide on the alliance. For me, I go Ebonheart Pact because all my friends are in Ebonheart Pact, and so of course I'd want to continue. Then you have your choice of races, and this is where, of course it's, one of the big things that Elder Scrolls Online, advertises is play your way. You could be any race, any class, that kind of thing, but there are races that are better for some classes, and vice versa. So you're going to want to do your homework before you actually decide on, okay, maybe you like the looks of a certain race. Well, then find out what classes best suit that race. Or, again, vice versa. What, class you want to be, what race would be the best class for that. So for this particular video, I'm just kind of going slow, and I decide we're going to go ahead and go with a Breton necromancer, basically. Right now we're doing Breton, and it's because basically for the Breton necromancer, there's more sustainability. When you're DPSing and or healing, it doesn't matter. There's more sustainability in that. You can see that basically, the cost of casting things is much less. So the even better, is I've seen some people creating like Nord necromancers because they can regen their ultimates faster. So those are things to consider, and this is what I mean by choosing your class and your race and having them best suit each other. So now we're going through, and I decided to go ahead and press the randomize button there, and it's pretty self-explanatory. L1 R1 moves you through the different screens, and then when you use your L3, basically here where you see that little dot moving it back and forth, that is the L3 button, and you can decide how large, how thin, how muscular that your character is. So I'm deciding on a general look. It's not her specific look yet, but it's a general look. So now I moved over, and you can choose how tall you are. Of course, I'm going to choose a short person because in real life, I am a shorty. I am only 5'3" tall. So I'm happy with that. I always choose the shortest character, to make my character look as short. So skin color, hair color, that kind of thing. And when you're creating a character, be very careful because they only have you here with candlelight. So you could think you're choosing a specific skin color or hair color, and then you get out and it's yellowy, or it's not specifically the color you thought it would be. So the only thing you can do is turn them around, in circles, and see how the light is playing on the skin, on the hair, and go from there, basically. Now, body markings, I'm showing you all the different body markings, scars, burns. I think that's where the tattoos are. Yes, tattoos. See, now we're getting into the tattoos. The one thing you want to be careful, if you have intentions or, think that at some point you want to make your character a vampire, your tattoos will not show up like that. When the skin turns white from becoming a vampire, it actually turns your tattoos to a light gray where it barely shows. I mean, it's still kind of cool, but it's not as pronounced as how they show right here. So you can change the stomach size, the waist size, how pumped up your arms are. And this goes for the same for men and women, with much of this. I wouldn't think the hip size is the same. Don't quote me on that, but I don't typically make male characters, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. Posterior dimension, that's how bubbly your butt is. Leg size, how muscular your legs are, your hands and feet. Then we go over to the head type. This just dictates how soft your face is, how like square, how angular. It basically going in certain directions. This is how you're able to, make your character your own. Yes, there may be other characters that look similar, but they're not identical. I mean, unless they were to have somehow, by freak of nature or chance, that you created an identical character to somebody else, there is going to be variations. And now you can see, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that's an old character. I waited till I got to the end to put the age on her. I could have changed that at any point, went over and found it and made her young, but it didn't matter. I knew what I was doing as far as this goes. Now, adornments. You need to be careful with adornments because you get many things in game that adds appearances. And if you already have like the flower in the hair, if you already have something across the head or earrings or whatever, or what have you, you're not going to be able to put those other things on. Well, you will, but it'll be like you have those two things on and it just doesn't look right. So I would recommend not having any adornments on your character unless you have no intention of using the appearances that they give you inside the game once you're in there. So of course now I'm picking, showing you all the different hairstyles, and then I will eventually go back to one of the hairstyles you just saw. And they do have many hairstyles available, and the thing is again, once you get in the game, you can get different hairstyles, whether it be from purchasing it with real life money for crowns to buy it with crowns in the crown store, or you get it for logging in daily. They give many things away in the game for just logging in daily. You get experience scrolls, you get appearance type things, you get skins, like the tattoos or but they're not necessarily tattoos. It's like markings and lipsticks, eyeshadows, different things for guys too. And now we're picking the hair color, and this is where you have to be careful because you think it's going to look one way, but it may not, when you get out into the world, look exactly like that because they have you in a small room by candlelight. So just keep that in mind. I would actually recommend going lighter than what you think looks good because it's going to be darker than what you think. Okay, and then of course head markings, that's more things like makeup and what you're seeing on the face. And we've yet to get to the eyebrows. That's why her eyebrows are still like that. And of course, eye shapes. This game is very specific, especially in comparison to like if you were to think about when Elder Scrolls Skyrim came out. None of this, was truly in bulk. The bulk amount of what we're doing here was not available in Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. And your character had dirt on them, and you couldn't even take the dirt off. Now, of course, if you played on PC, which initially I did, you could get mods and then change things around. And I think they took a note or a page from that book, should we say, or is how I'm going to put it. They took a page from that book and they added so much more when they made this game. They made it like the best of everything of their games. Not of every game out there, but of their own games. So there's also, jaw size. You can, how wide the jaw is, how wide the chin's going to be, how how long the chin, will come out, that type of thing. How basically you can make the nose bigger, smaller, ear size, I just keep it where it's at because with the hairstyle she has on right now, I will not see her ears, basically. And usually, unless you want, like, with the wood elves and the high elves, unless you want really big ears, you can stay down on the small size, too. That's usually a safe bet. Because, again, you're inside this room and, you're close up on your character and you think it looks, you know, a certain way, and it may not. And there is no like makeup mirror in the game that you can go to and change these things for free. Basically, it costs crowns to be able to buy the appearance tokens. Now, here's another thing: is you know, here and there they do give appearance and race tokens away. You can see I'm testing the voice. You pressed X, and then left or right on the D-pad, which is your arrow directions. So basically, you're going to want to like press X, test voice, several times on a voice you like to make sure that every noise they make is what you think it's going to be, because sometimes it's tricky. You like the way they laugh, but then when they go raw, it's like, oh, ew, shut up, you know, and then you're stuck with that voice, right? So basically I've chosen this voice, I believe. So, and then you can choose the eye color. I mean, and I usually like dark eyes, or dark hair, light eyes, or light hair, dark eyes. You know, I like the contrast when I'm creating characters. So I show you all the different eye colors, and then I settle on, you know, since she has dark hair, she's going to have light eyes. You know, and then basically you can see there's going to be eye size, eye angle. I mean, like, how awesome is it that you can go to this depth in creating your character? I mean, like, how satisfied is that, you know, or satisfying that you actually get to tweak every part of anything you can think of. The only thing that I could think of that they didn't let me tweak or let us tweak is how wide someone's mouth is, or your character's mouth is. You know, can it be wider? Can it be, you know, not quite as wide? I mean, that would be definitely more detail that they could add eventually, or in maybe, you know, Elder Scrolls 6, maybe it'll be there, who knows. You know, look at this: eye angle, eye separation, eye height, eye squint. I mean, you can make them squint more or not. See, here's where I changed the eyebrows, and it totally changes the look of the character, right? You can look mean, you could look happy, you could look sad, worried, just by changing the eyebrows. I mean, that is so cool. So then you can change the eyebrow height, you know, where they're at, where they're sitting. Here's the nose shape. There isn't a huge difference in shapes, and I don't really change it. What I do, though, is I make the nose a little bit wider, and I shorten the tip. You know, and basically that's all I typically will do with it doesn't matter, because the nose doesn't seem to change on my screen anyway. So, and then here we are, the mouth curve. You can make them smile, you can make them just, you know, regular or pouty, lip fullness. And that's everything in a nutshell. This is how you create a new character, and you can also use this as a guide to changing over your character. If you get a character change, a race and change token or whatever, this is exactly how you would do it. From the start screen where your characters are, you know, you would just pick the character change token that you purchased. It'll be up where you see L1, R1. It'll be like right in that area on your character screen. And you pick the token, and then it says to pick the character. So you pick the character you want to change, and you come in and you do this. This is exactly what you do. Just be careful, like I said, especially if you've paid that money to change your character, you know, with hair color, skin color, you know. I can't impress that enough, because I've done that and had to start over before, you know, on one that I didn't, you know, pay to change. All right, so I hope you found this helpful. This is Mystic with Mystic Shepherd Gaming saying, please remember to smash that like button, ring the bell to be alerted when I put out new videos or go live on live streams, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, but only if you want to. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have a great day.